All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. You understand?
Welcome to Market Makers, everyone. Your home for tomorrow's TA today. This is the crypto video. The market video went out just before this. Be sure to give that a watch. I talk about the Equinox points in that in the beginning. I'm not going to cover that again in this video because I know a lot of people watch both, but we need to look at the price action because Bitcoin's doing what I've been talking about in the Discord the last few days now, looking for some type of retracement. And we're forming a couple of different options on patterns I want to share with you. Before we get into that nitty gritty, we need to review the major cycle chart. This is a Bitcoin top and bottom cycle that's played out every single time since 2013. Guys, if you like my updates, be sure to click subscribe, notification bell, as well as leave me a comment if you have any questions, and consider joining our Discord or joining the YouTube Market Maker members by clicking that join button and get all of our Market Maker updates from the staff, from myself throughout the week. Let's go ahead and review what we got here on the cycle chart. So as you guys know, we have the RMA moving up into the beach ball. Significant because every time we cross the previous cycle top, we have put in a final top before a 75% sell-off within 30 days every single time. So I want to give you an update where we are on this. We are right at 61K right now, 60,800. We have to cross 69,000. When we cross 69,000, the top should be in within 30 days on Bitcoin, and then you get your big cycle ending drop, okay? So right now, tentatively, I have this scheduled for November plus or minus 4 weeks. Why? Because that's been the topping cycle going back to 2013, okay? So that's what I'm looking at. And then we know the bottom will occur roughly a year after the top. So where are we on the price action? This is where we are zooming out here, 3-day chart. 132 was my target prediction. We got up to 125. I think we're going to easily get 132. I've been saying that a long time, but I don't think price is done. However, near term, you need to be aware of any potential retracement in the marketplace because you could see this in the equities as well. And it could be a fast retracement, could be a shallow retracement. We don't know. You have stretched markets, and today is the fall equinox. These next 3 weeks are where major pivots happen in the marketplace. The two cardinal points in the market, spring equinox, fall equinox, and Bitcoin is going to move with the financial assets. If we look at how we're tracking here with money, we did really well. We got above it again. That one, look at the 1618. For those of you that don't track Fibonacci, I mean, look how this has played out as far as total crypto market cap. 3.95 trillion is your magical number. You still have a bullish uptrend here, right? You have higher lows going in here, but you need to flip this to get more money in Bitcoin. And the way to get more money in Bitcoin, I believe, is to pull back, which is what you're doing right now in the chart. But for Bitcoin to get its blow off, we need to see this move up towards that 4.72 trillion mark. If we look at this moving forward here, on Bitcoin, here's your actual price action on the daily chart, okay? So what did you do? See this pullback? This is going to play out a couple of different ways here. First of all, let's look at a couple of options. One option is the W pattern, which would be fantastic because these are highly tradable patterns that repeat over and over again in the market. By the way, look where this fell, right to your fractal support at 112. You see that? We'll just draw this here for now. And then you have your move up. And this move up, you can get Fibonacci targets off of this move up. Let's draw it out a little bit, but let's look at this. So again, if we look at this from pulling our fibs down from wave 1 to 2, this is your Wyckoff expansionary range. What was my target since all of this year for 10 months now, 9 months now? 132. This takes you up to 135, 176. If you can hold this higher low structure above that wave 2, this is a bullish W fractal if you can hold this. And another way to look at this is if we pull our fib here from 2 up to 3 and look at our retracement levels, I think we almost got to this 618. So let's throw 3 to 2, 5, 618 on here. Let's look at this. So we got right down. We're holding the 50% retracement at 112,619. 618 just below you at 111,357. You need to stay above 109,559. You need to stay above that. If you take that out, I believe you're going to the high 90s in Bitcoin, okay, on a retracement. If you take out that 109,559, because bottom end of the day, this is the fractal you must absolutely hold is 107,270. So typically if you get past that 78%, or you can call it a Pareto distribution mark of 80%, if you pass that, you're probably taking out that low and you're going to a deeper level. The low 100s, high 90s, that's where I'd be targeting. But if you can hold the higher low structure, overall be bullish on Bitcoin. If we look at our DVD, you see it confirmed here in the volume delta, you're getting selling. And look at our SMO, you're getting a rollover and momentum, okay? So again, it's going to be about, can we hold a higher low on momentum, flag off to the side, break back out, and continue this W fractal to move up to the upside. I know a lot of people, there's a big debate on our Discord about timing, because a lot of people do follow that 4-year cycle. I narrowed that cycle down, as you guys know, looking at the actual tops and bottoms. And of course, I've been saying November top in Bitcoin plus or minus 4 weeks. But it is worth noting Bitcoin in that 4-year cycle at one point did top in a January top. Everything seems to be taking longer, but we have the key metrics to track. We know we have to track what the RMA is doing on Bitcoin. We know historically it's played out the last 3 cycles in a row with looking for that top to come in. But we also have to see if we retrace deeper here and what the price action is going to be, because there's 2 options. You're going to either form a higher low bullish option, which is your W fractal, again, highly tradable, or you're going to form what can amount to an ABC to the downside to like 96K. So that's what I'm looking at on the 2 patterns for Bitcoin. And right now you're mid drop. So this is all going to depend where we end up dropping to and if we can hold a higher level of support structure. If we look at Bitcoin here on our lunar cycle pivots, I mean, this is the 3rd one in a row now played out to the exact day. Lunar cycle change, start at your sell off. You see that? Got your retracement. You had your lunar cycle change before that, start at your rally to the day, okay? Lunar cycle change before that, start at your sell-off to the day. So 3 in a row now have started different moves in the marketplace. The question is, how much magnitude are we going to have here on this down pull? That we don't know. But if you check out the Market Maker member option on YouTube, you'll get my updates and our staff updates throughout the week as well in the crypto space. So guys, if we look at MSTR, your proxy in the equity space for Bitcoin, why is this not refreshing yet? The market is open now. I'm recording this right about 9:15. There we go. So this is where we are now in MSTR. You got a little bit of a sell-off. That key line you want to hold is 325. Beneath you is 309, which was my target. We almost got to it. And if you lost that, 274. Okay. You need to flip 340 and come up to the upside. Ultimately, you have to flip 358. This is like a classic retest of a Wyckoff range. You see this? You're failing right at resistance. So you need to flip this, get back into the trading range to be more bullish for upside. If you do not flip it, you're pivoting to the downside. All these resistance points here eventually could break down, take you below 309 towards that 275 area down in that region. And you would see that if Bitcoin was retracing more. If we look at Ethereum, we've been talking about the trading range 4,900 down to 4,100, and you're bouncing off the bottom of 4,100 right now. So this is important because you just have a coil. Okay, you can trade these intraday moves. If you're a small time frame trader, you like those 15-minute, 1-hour time frames, whatever. I look for swings. The bigger swing is going to be if you break below 4,100 or break above 4,900, because I have 5,800 above that. And obviously, if you retrace down to the downside here, you got 3,000 at the 618, something we've been talking about for a long time, if this breaks to the downside. So those are your 2 key moves there in Ethereum, which is obviously worth tracking, the largest alt. Can't talk about Ethereum without talking about BitMiner. BitMiner now has 2% of their 5% goal of Ethereum. So you're going to see this heavily reflect what's happening with Ethereum. And right now you have your W pattern. but it's flagging, right? So you're trying to break up. You got to take out that 71. You're at 58.59. If this starts coiling like this, it can be a compression pattern right at resistance, which again would be highly tradable. However, if it starts breaking down, you need to watch these downside levels. Downside level to hold your key support level at 40 bucks, and then at 30 bucks because you can have deeper downside. This is going to move with Ethereum, being that they have so much money in Ethereum. Flipping 71's key, and you haven't taken out that fractal at 59 yet. That's where you're struggling and failing. So just watch that. If we look at some of the larger alts, we had Solana. Where did it come up to? Right to the magic number of the 786 at 252, and now you're at 221. You see that? Everything's affected by the moves with Bitcoin. You're bouncing right off that 618, which was resistance. It's acting as support at 218. Lower level is 205, okay? So you want to stay above 205. Be great if you can stay above 218. Chop around in here to once again try to exit your channel that you formed. And 252 is obviously your key resistance. And then above that, you have your 295, okay? This is what you're looking at on Solana. If you look at SUI, a lot of people trading this coin, and it's this chart as well has not updated. Come on, Trading View. Trying to work here. So we look at SUI. $3.36. You're right at the 50% retracement line. And so you had your bearish pattern form. You had a false break M fractal. There's your second high. It's higher than your first high, but it broke down, right? $3.36 beneath you is $3.11. You want to try to hold that. You almost came down to it. It's also that fractal low. And again, this is trending. SUI is trending lower, right? You have your high, lower high, lower high. You have a low, lower low, and now you have a higher low. So again, can you start reversing this trend to come back up? Those are the levels you need to watch. XRP tried to break down below its long-term coil here. I mean, this thing's been coiling forever. 272 is that key level of fractal support. You need this to break back up to the upside. 369 is your key resistance level, and beneath that 329. So again, until you start breaking out one direction or the other, because if you lose 272, you're coming back down to that 220 range, 225, all the way potentially down to $1.90. If you can hold this and start breaking to the upside, flip 329, flip 369, you have 434 above you. Right now, this is still good. It's still sideways chop. A lot of things are rebounding off of their lows, which is a good thing. ADA, similar concept here. There's your fractal low. You bounced right off it, 78 cents. Beneath that, you have 68 cents. ADA needs to hold this range. You're trying to build this coil here. It's all about these coils in the cryptos, getting some trend to form, such as higher lows in the trend to come to the upside of $1.01 up to $1.10 would be your next two key resistance levels. But as of right now, I mean, you're just going sideways in a chop, bouncing off the bottom of your range. All right, guys, hope you liked the video. Hope to see you on the Discord. Check out Bitunix if you want to trade these markets. I would appreciate it. All right, guys, see you in the next one.